Aida for ignoring our daughter's inconvenient boundary. My wife, 39F, and I, 36F, have a daughter, technically my stepdaughter, but I've raised her since she was 5, 19F, from a previous relationship of my wife's. Her father is not in the picture, who has come back home after her first year at uni. She's picked up a new and problematic issue since she was last home for an extended period of time, surrounding laundry. Basically, she has established a boundary where nobody is to touch her clothes. Her reasoning is that she's concerned something will go missing/get damaged, thinks it's just gross for us to go through her stuff, and is an adult who deserves privacy. All fine. We have 3 young children in our home, 9F, 9F, and 2M, so plenty of washing to keep us entertained. The issue is that she has a habit of monopolizing washing facilities to the extent where we're effectively prevented from being able to get any other laundry done. For example, last weekend she put a wash in before work and hung it out on the line at around 11 a.m. She then left for work, 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. Her wash was dry within an hour, and obviously she wasn't going to be back all day. We had a few days' worth of washing to get through, so my wife, her mom, took everything off the line and folded it. We got through 5 other loads that day. She was not happy when she got home, and said that she'd been very clear that we weren't to touch her things. When we explained the situation above, she said it was first come, first served, not something we've ever said, and that since the next day was due to be nice also, we should have just waited to get through it the next day. That really pissed us off. We've offered her a weekly laundry day where we'll avoid using the machines so she can have freedom to do as she pleases on that day, but she said once a week won't cut it. Fair enough, but there are 5 other people in the house that need clean clothes/bedding/towels. Other than that, all we can really suggest is that she keeps on top of her washing. If she's at home, we'll ask her to clear her clothes from the machine/dryer/washing line as needed. But like any 19-year-old, she has a social life, work commitments, and is often busy. She's upset because she says we're not respecting her boundaries, whereas we've pointed out that while "don't move my clothes" is objectively reasonable, it's not fair for her to do so at the inconvenience of everyone else in our home. Essentially, the last conversation we had ended up with her in tears, because we said as long as situations like Saturday keep occurring, we'll continue to move her stuff. Just FYI, we do fold her clothes carefully and leave them in a basket in a communal living area so they're kept together, in good condition. And we're not going in and out of her room. We normally have a good relationship with her, so this is all a bit unusual. We've asked her if everything else is okay, and she says yes and seems otherwise normal in and of herself, and she's normally reasonable, so are we being unreasonable? Edit. So the consensus is pretty much that we're right, and our daughter is being massively unreasonable, and that we're being pushovers for not being tougher on her from the off. We've shown her the comments, and unfortunately she's still insisting that we're the unreasonable ones. We'd never considered the local laundromat and have banned her from using our washing machine for the next fortnight given she's still unwilling to adjust. She absolutely furious, and wife has ordered a lock for the washroom door to enforce the 2-week rule. Hopefully a couple of weeks hauling her stuff to and from will help her see the light. Thanks very much all. Edit 2. A slightly calmer update this morning. Our daughter came to talk to us and apologized for the situation. She said she had found the transition back home hard, I get that, and had maybe become a bit territorial over her stuff while at uni. All okay. She then asked if she could please have a laundry day and be allowed to use the machine. Her place of work is closed Mondays, so that's now her day, and we've said that she can use the machine on other days. But if by 7 a.m. Tuesday there's anything in the way, or any issues on any other days, we'll be moving her stuff. A genuine sorry goes a long way with us, and while the advice has been to hold firm, we don't really want an issue if the situation can be resolved calmly. We've also made it clear that if her things do have to be moved on any day, other than Monday, which is totally hers, and we get any grief about it, we'll go back to a 2-week ban, and there's no going back. Maybe a less satisfying update than the last one, but we're happy we can resolve the problem calmly. She did mention she'd read through some of these comments last night, so thank you to everyone that weighed in. NTA. This is insane. You can respect her boundaries, but she needs to work within your rules/schedule, etc. She can't just dictate something, then make it impossible to go about your own business. It's ludicrous. The good thing is, you have the upper hand here. If she doesn't want her stuff touched, then she'd better get it off the line before you need to use it. 1. Ask for her input on timing. But being clear, there are 6 people living in the house and she gets the equivalent of 1/6 of the available time to do her wash. 2. If she fights it, assign her a time. 3. Respect that time, and don't do any of your wash during her scheduled time, so she can't come back at you that your stuff was in the wash. 4. Go about your business. If his stuff is in the wash on the line and she's not around to move it, you move it. Done. Period. This teenager making rules bullshit has to stop. You are the parents, and it's your house. She also seems to have forgotten that doing laundry at home is a privilege, not a right, and she doesn't pay for that privilege. If she really has a problem with her parents' laundry rules, she is welcome to go to a laundromat. She also seems to have forgotten that doing laundry at home is a privilege, not a right. Seriously. My first thought was to tell her, fine, do your clothing at the nearest laundromat. If you can't respect our right to use our washing machine and clothesline, then you don't get to use them. NTA obviously agreed, but this seems like such a weird boundary for this girl to have developed. I know OP said she told him nothing more is going on here, but there's something more going on here. Why is it that I have to scroll down here to see this comment? There's something else going on here, as it seems she's reasonable otherwise. Maybe she's asserting her independence here, or trying to have some sense of control, having come back home from being at university with all of the personal changes. Maybe there's emotional crap going on that OP doesn't know about. I'm thinking that since being at school, she's been as flippant with timing her laundry and has had her clothes frequently removed from the washer and slash or dryer. Maybe some of her stuff did disappear, or maybe the idea that strangers were touching her clothes skeeved her out. But neither of those things should give her license to dictate when laundry gets done in her parents' house. If she treated the dorm washing machines like she does her parents' laundry machine, that would not be unusual. 100%. She thinks that just because it's her parents' house, she doesn't have to deal with strangers pissed off that she's hogging a machine for the whole day. What an entitled brat. The rule in our dorm was to move anything from the washer-dryer that had been there for more than 15 minutes. Folks can't behave that way with communal facilities. I don't want anyone to bother my stuff, so I set a timer for when the machine will stop and come back a few minutes before and get my stuff. It would never occur to me that I get to just leave it there until I feel like or get around to getting it. Ridiculous. Dude, comma. When I lived in an apartment building with limited washers and dryers, you had best be there when the cycle ended or your clothes were going to be in a wet pile. We set timers so we'd show up minimum 5 minutes before. This girl has no idea. That quote what I did when I lived in an apartment. She'd be finding her clothes outside the front door as a message. Get it together and live respectfully in our free-loving home, or get out and support your boundaries elsewhere. Right? I wouldn't be folding them nicely. They would be unceremoniously dumped in a heap outside her bedroom door. For real. I would go down to the laundry room 5, 10 minutes early so that my stuff wouldn't get moved. Right. I would set an alarm and camp out for my stuff for the last few minutes. Better than having it dumped on top of a table sopping wet because I was 2 minutes late. I always just brought my books down there and studied. It's pretty peaceful in a laundry room. Trusting souls. I'd bring my books, study papers, and just sit there and wait for it. If I was going to be reading/studying for 2 hours anyway, might as well guard my clothes at the same time. I went through that at a company dorm. Even if I kept on top of it, someone would take my clothes out, still wet, and start using the washer. I think because they were paid, people were trying to get free washing. I just decided to do laundry at the laundromat and do shopping while waiting once a week. Problem solved. It was a little more expensive, but being able to do all my laundry in an hour along with shopping made life easier overall. Oh, that's the worst. When I was in an apartment, I used to find my clothes still covered in detergent or still soaking wet in the dryer. I got sick of it because I was spending twice on laundry. I figured something was going on, so I put my laundry in and went upstairs. I closed the door while still in the hallway. I heard a 4 open, then the laundry room door. I quietly went downstairs and found the lady who lived in the apartment opposite the laundry room pulling my clothes out to put hers in. I gently closed the door behind me and walked up behind her and said, "You can put my stuff back in the machine now." She jumped and said something about she thought it was the Hispanic family that moved in. Then went on about how they're over occupancy because they just had a baby. How she can never do laundry because their stuff was always in the machine. Then she tried to imply they were messing with everyone else's stuff. I called the leasing office and reported her. They said she's known for this and gave me a few bucks and quarters for the inconvenience. I really hope karma bites her racist butt.